What's going on, cast and crew? Welcome back to Tyler's Theater. Today, we are going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, Season 2. I haven't really talked much about this show yet, but before I talk about this week's episode and kind of where the show has left me, I want to paint a picture real quick. Just put yourself in imagination land for a second, okay? Pretend you are going to a family member's house for dinner, or doesn't have to. It could be your family, it could be someone else's family, a relative. It could be a friend's house, and you're eating dinner with their family. And I want you to picture yourself, right? So you're sitting at the table, you're breaking bread. And you walk in and you smell the food, and it smells pretty good from what you smell, and things look fresh and things look good, and you're like, okay, you know what, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to eat this. And so it's a 3-course meal. You have, let's say you have the little bite-sized one, then the appetizer, then the entree, then I don't know, you could have a palate cleanser and then dessert or whatever. The bite size comes, and it's so small, but it doesn't taste good, right? And you're like, ooh, that's got a weird taste to it. But you're like, okay, well, maybe I can only eat in one bite. Maybe I just have to keep giving this a chance. Maybe I just don't have good taste or something like that. And then the appetizer round comes, right? It's a little bit bigger, still kind of a good portion size, and you eat it, and you're like, this isn't great, right? It's not tasting too good. Then the entree comes. And you're just like, bro, this is nasty as, right? Like, you're just like, this is gross. And everyone was talking it up. Everyone was excited to dine. And, we're breaking bread and we're sharing good time together. But, man, this food sucks. And you know when you kind of do that and they're like, okay, well, dessert's coming. And you're like, you don't want to eat more. And you're like, oh, well, I'm going to pretend to be full, right? So that way I don't have to eat more. You barely ate the other courses, so you're not really full. But you're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to eat. And they're like, oh, trust me, it'll be good. Comes to the table, and your doubts are telling you, like, no, this is not going to be good. And you take a bite, and it is banger. Best thing you've ever tasted. That's how watching Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has felt. Now, before I go into this, I'm going to try to keep as many spoilers away as I can until I get to the end of the video, and I will give a spoiler warning. So for those of you who haven't seen it, you can turn this video off when I get to that point. But season 1 to me was kind of mid. It had its issues. Overall, I thought it was just kind of disappointing. I thought it was going to go out with a bit more of a bang at the end, and there were good action scenes, but the story itself just didn't hit it for me. Something just felt like it was missing or lackluster. The plot was all over the place. It was weird. And then this one comes, and to be honest, I loved Daredevil, but I wasn't too excited going into it. Episode 1 came, and it was okay. It's meh. But I expect that from a first episode. Like, okay, well, yeah, I can't judge it too quickly. And then we got 2 episodes the following week, 2 and 3. Dang, are we already 4 episodes in this already? And after the 3rd episode, I found myself looking at the show, and I was just like, man, this show sucks. Like, I was like, this show is going to be terrible. And yes, there's some cool action scenes. The costume looks great. The cast is amazing. Well, actually, I'll take my words back on that, because that's one of my biggest issues. The original cast is amazing. The problem I had with it was there were, and still are, too many characters. Characters that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And they are just filling the episode. The plot was feeling still all over the place, right? Fisk is hunting vigilantes, and Matt is trying to stop them, and it's so confusing, and the other characters were just making it more just, it got so lost in it. And to me, my biggest problem were the characters. Now, after watching episode, I think, one, The two characters that actually stood out to me, and the ones that I was most intrigued, was one, Bullseye, because I thought, what an interesting dynamic. You know, he saves Matt. That was a little bit of a spoiler. But Matt now may have to find a way to partner with Bullseye because they're both kind of leading with the same agenda, stopping Fisk. But obviously Matt's morals will get in the way and Bullseye doesn't really care. So I thought, oh, that would be interesting. But the other character that I really was intrigued by was actually Heather, one that I did not see coming. A therapist with PTSD from the incident she had with Muse. She kept seeing him. I loved Muse. You know, the scene felt tense. It was creepy. She acted it well. And so I was like, okay, I'm kind of down for this. And I was very intrigued by her character. So good writing on her part. I hope they don't ruin it by making her like Miss Female Muse. I think that's going to be stupid. I hope that's not where it's going. But long story short, by the third episode, I was just not feeling the show, to be honest. I didn't even really rewatch the action scenes because I felt like they were boring me a little bit. But then this week's episode, guys. Starting this off. If you are a Bullseye fan, you are going to be happy. And if you've seen it already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bullseye to me was the star of this episode. The absolute star. He opens the episode. Not going to really get into much detail, but he uses Frank Castle to kind of get the AVTF to him, and he's in a diner and he's drinking a milkshake, and he's so funny in a way, and he absolutely just slaughters them. But that was one of the best openings I think I've seen in Marvel television, in just the character in general. But then Daredevil comes, finds him, fights Bullseye, which was a pretty interesting fight. Bullseye's kills, and especially how they use like the framework to film the action scenes and how things are bouncing off the wall, like it's just so entertaining. But the end is where this episode really takes a turn, and it really surprised me. And this is where I will give you the spoiler warning, so if you haven't seen it, turn this video off and come back to it. Again, spoilers. I'm warning you. Bullseye hunts down Fisk, who is in a boxing match, by the way, which I also thought was very entertaining. He ends up winning the fight. He destroys the other guy. I was kind of hoping it'd be, honestly, more gory, considering Fisk's, his size and his power and what we know he does and how violent he is. Yeah, he does some big blows and there's blood, but I was kind of expecting him to, like, really make it, like, nasty gory. But he's doing that. Vanessa shows up. Bullseye shows up, starts killing the AVTF that's in the ring. And then he throws one of Fisk's, like, trophy, little, like, memento globes. I don't know what it is. It's made of glass. Fisk blocks it, or so he thinks, and it shatters. And he tries to kill Bullseye. Matt comes in and kind of pulls Bullseye out of the equation. And camera turns to Vanessa, and shards of the glass are right in her temple. Like, right in her temple. The look she gives Fisk, you can just feel the tension, and the blood is coming out of her head. And, she falls over, obviously, and Fisk starts losing it. If she dies here, the screen is going to be very entertaining when Fisk shows up, because he is in pure vengeance mode. Angry Fisk mode. But Vanessa, I think, is going to die. I know she's been in this since, like, day one. But if she, like, somehow survives this, the next episode starts and she's, like, in an ambulance. She's like, oh, Fisk. And he's like, oh, Vanessa, they're going to take care of you. And you're going to the hospital. And I'll get him back. I think that's going to be bull crap, bro. Like, I think this would be the perfect way to kill her off. And to see how Fisk's character changes and evolves from this is going to be beyond entertaining. And so, anyway, last night's episode, amazing. I feel like that was one of the best things I've seen from Marvel, and I don't know if it's just because honestly Marvel hasn't really given great stuff lately, and it just kind of gave some good media this one time. But yeah, only thing I critique: start killing off characters that have nothing to do with anything. Boring characters, just taking too much. If I tried to count all the characters in the show that are really taking up the screen, I probably would miss a good amount because there's so many of them. And I understand it's okay to have characters if you're going to kill them off. But these characters are just lurking. And like if you watch an episode and you really just focus on how long the main characters in it, say an episode's like an hour, you're probably getting like 20 minutes max of the characters you want to see. A good 25 minutes of it, easily just filler. That has nothing to do with anything. So, great episode. I hope it gets better. But what did you guys think? Comment that down below. Like and share this video. That is going to be a wrap on today. And yeah, more reviews to come for Daredevil. I will see you all in the next video.